What's up, crew? Welcome back into the weekly show for Tuesday night. It's going to be a doozy for the night. Of course, before we dive into all that fun stuff, comment below where you guys are watching from if it's your first time on here. How is everyone doing this week? It's going to be a little bit of an interesting few weeks coming up, and we're going to talk about all the things. We've even got wifey here for the night. I'm here. You guys get both of us for the evening. Got a babysitter lined up, so it's going to work out great.
Oh, no.
What'd you say?
Come over here.
Oh, it's just a message.
Oh, no.
You guys ever have that happen where you hear the eBay tone and you're like, waiting for the cha-ching afterwards, and there's no cha-ching? And then you're like, oh, it's a message. Messages are like...
I've been getting a ton of offers the last 2 days, so sometimes the bring...
That was so spot on.
It's fine if I'm getting offers. But
right.
If it's a complaint, that's annoying.
That's a little different. Should we dive into the topic of the night?
Wait, we got to say hi.
We said a little bit of hi.
You didn't. You
gotta
didn't say
love
hi
the
to every single person.
We don't have anyone in here. There's a delay.
Robert's here. Karen's here. Hey, Martin from Real Life FBA.
Quick
Gretchen,
plug.
Freddie, gang's all here. All right,
let's dive in. The topic of the night, if you guys have not heard by now, which I'm assuming most of you have, Amazon has suspended most. This is why I put most in the title, because there's some clickbait going around where people are like, Amazon suspends all shipments. Not true. The facts are Amazon is suspending most inbound FBA shipments right now, except for I have the little email pulled up here. If you haven't, check whatever email is tied to your Seller Central account. If you're an Amazon seller, you'll have the full email there. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. Unless you are selling these specific categories, which is baby products, health and household, beauty and personal care, grocery, industrial and scientific, and pet supplies. Even though those are the categories, they have clearly stated in that email that there's going to be some products within those categories that are not a priority right now. Obviously, we can't blame them for wanting to prioritize, cleaning supplies, health products,
food
medical,
for our kids,
food. So we get why they're doing it, but that doesn't make it any less of a blow to a lot of businesses. Unfortunately, for a lot of the heavy retail arbitrage clothing and shoe sellers, they're going to get hit hard with this. Then you got booksellers who are full-time books. They're going to be taking a little bit of a hit. There's a few things you can do to help lessen the blow. So we're going to talk about those tonight, but that's the gist of the email. This is going up into April 5th. As of now, it wouldn't surprise me. And you guys this is part of being a business owner. You always have to kind of be ready to pivot and keep an eye out for these things, but it wouldn't surprise me because we don't know where this whole virus thing is going to be in 2 weeks. We talk about this even just this morning, like every day is something different. I don't know about you guys.
Every time I see Charles call me, I'm like, what's wrong now?
What's the update now?
What? I feel like it's so day to day, and even just like every few hours there's something different. Yeah.
So in 2 weeks with the whole April 5th deadline, as of April 5th, we supposedly can start shipping normally again. Hopefully that stays intact, but at the rate things are going, who knows? They could push the date out again. So just be mentally ready if that happens. And that's just why we want to go on live and share kind of what we're doing, our experience, how it affected us.
Right.
We were in a position where, because of our prep center, a lot of our clients are doing online arbitrage. They're sending their products to us. We prep and ship them from here and send them out into Amazon's warehouse. That had no effect on the retail stores closing, all this stuff. It had no effect until last night at about midnight.
We were planning on just like
full speed ahead.
We're basically self-quarantining. Essentially, we're back and forth from our house to the office, and nobody comes here except for us and like delivery guys. But we've been like good about sanitizing the doorknobs and like just being careful, obviously.
They get mad if the delivery guy shows up. I like spray him down first and then take the package. Right. That'd make for such a good video.
Or if the handle was just covered in hand sanitizer. It was like jelly. hand sanitizer.
We can be one of those people that puts a little, we can take a carton of Clorox wipes and put them outside and say, you have to wipe this down first. So that's kind of where we were at, is we had no impact really, because we've been doing online arbitrage and more wholesale ourselves. So I haven't even been doing retail arbitrage much. So until last night, I was up until midnight anyways. And so I just happened to catch the email right when it came out and I went, oh crap.
Yeah.
I had mentioned,
changes everything.
I thought there would be some type of restriction that would have happened with UPS and FedEx and the post office, but I was not expecting, I don't think any of us were expecting to wake up to that email where it's Amazon that said, nope, we're not going to be accepting most shipments unless they're falling in those specific categories in prioritizing, which we can't blame them for. We get it, but it's still going to impact a lot of people, unfortunately. So as of now, people have been asking us, I've gotten several DMs today about what we're doing with the prep center. A couple things we're doing. One, I'm going to go buy some shelves, because what's going to happen is our clients are sending like 30 packages a day right now, and they're not slowing down. So what I recommended is they keep sending products. And this is one of the tips I want to give you guys too, for those of you that are doing online arbitrage, even some wholesale too. Wholesale is slightly different, but always what we're talking about here. Don't wait until April 5th to start placing your orders again, because what's going to happen is April 5th gets here. You say, okay, I can FBA again. You start placing orders. And then next thing you know, it's April 8th and 9th, your packages get in, and then you have to do your shipment. So really you're getting your shipment out by the 10th or 11th. There's a 1 week delay that you're missing when you could have just had a stockpile of inventory ready to go, hopefully on April 5th on the day.
Yeah.
Just those floodgates open and you could do one big shipment to flood your Amazon account with good stuff. So that's what we recommended for our clients. I already ordered.
And obviously what we're doing for ourselves.
Yeah,
and
ourselves too. We're doing the same thing. So we're basically just stockpiling client products here. We have some grocery sellers. We have some personal care sellers as clients. So we're going to ship in what we can.
Yeah.
The things that pop up, because if you're using Inventory Lab or Seller Central, it'll pop up with a notification that you can't send that in right now. On the products that happens, our clients have the opportunity for us to then merchant fill them for them. So when those orders come in on their accounts, we have the product here. We can log in under user permissions, print off the label and ship to their customers. So that's one thing that we're doing to help them out. But for the most part, April 5th is going to be a very busy day, because we're going to have,
like, as soon as we get the email that it's good to go, we're literally
floodgates open,
dropping everything, and we'll probably be here for a few days. Yeah, just working. My parents are on call, so that
gonna be some good shipments.
We can drop the kids off, and then basically we're just gonna be working really hard. I look really tired. Why do I look so bad?
Really?
I am tired, but I'm not sick, I swear.
So funny. So that's kind of what we were going through with the prep center side. Our own personal business. Obviously, we do Amazon FBA, we do eBay, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We've got to pivot. And this is something that I've seen so many people talk about, how bad of an impact that this is all making on their business.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but reflect on all the times through the last couple of years that we have got up here and preached, diversify your income streams. Some of you, that means selling in different categories. Some of you, that means selling on different platforms. So for example, for the people who are just doing retail arbitrage for shoes and clothing, kind of screwed for the next 2 weeks, unless you want to list your items merchant filled, which they're not going to sell through as quickly as Prime FBA would.
That could change too, though, honestly.
100%,
because if Amazon's just stocking essentials, eventually they are going to run out of certain things in their warehouse that people are just buying because they're at home and bored or whatever. So even if it's a kind of a pain for you, it's totally worth it, in my opinion, to at least list it merchant fulfill.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Charles said, it could take a little longer, but eventually it will sell, and it's better than sitting on your floor or your garage or whatever and just waiting for the day you get to send it in.
So if you guys are in that position where you have inventory that you haven't sent in yet, and you're thinking, wow, crap, I can't send this in for 2 weeks, list it as merchant filled. It might sell, it might not, but at least you can potentially have the opportunity to sell it, because if it's not listed, it's not going to sell. So we're doing that with our own inventory. I I'm really happy. I had planned on going out and doing a big retail arbitrage day, and I'm really happy I didn't because I was trying to look at doing
you
it
were
yesterday.
Gonna go on Saturday. I can't remember.
I was going to go demolish some stores this week, and I'm glad I didn't. But I still have stuff I need to list as merchant filled, anyways. So our big pivot is we're just hammering eBay this week.
Yeah.
It was such great timing. We just got some wholesale shoes and clothing items in from one of our suppliers. So we've got 300 or 400 items to keep us busy and list.
Yeah.
And I've got a whole stockpile here behind the computer of like, there's like 150, maybe 200 items of hard goods stuff, just random stuff I've been collecting over the months. And we've been picking through like 5 or 10 items a day and listing. So we're going to pivot hard and hit eBay as hard as we can the next 2 weeks.
Not just eBay, like Poshmark, Mercari,
yep.
Like we're going to
I cut local selling is out. I don't want people coming in the warehouse. Obviously, we're not doing a warehouse sale like we do every month. I don't want people bringing their stuff in here, especially when we have client products. I'm so OCD about the client boxes even right now. Every time I touch a box, I'm sanitizing. Every time a box and product goes onto a table, I'm wiping it down in between each one. So we're taking care of it. So we cut out local selling for now. I'm still doing a few pickups here and there. And that's kind of like the gist of where everything is at. But those are the facts with the whole Amazon suspending shipments. It's not all shipments. I think there's too many people doing between Instagram and YouTube. Too many people are giving the false sense that Amazon shut all FBA down. That's not the case. Read the email, get the facts straight, and make the decisions you need to keep your business up. But we just want to talk about ways that we're pivoting. And I'm going to talk about this so much more, even more so than we have over the last 2 years, because you guys have to start using things like this as a wake-up call to have, I'm not saying come up with a plan B, but I'm just saying don't put your eggs in one basket, because this can happen for any platform at any time, can make these types of drastic changes that affects you. So whether that's diversifying into different categories, like grocery, looking at this list, grocery, awesome profit category. Be careful with your pricing right now, because obviously cleaning supplies, sanitizer, that whole debacle that went down. But pay attention to your pricing, especially now that they're looking at the grocery category a little bit more heavy as far as price gouging goes. So pay attention to what you're doing. You don't need to go out there and make 1,000% ROI on your grocery stuff. If you're running, 50, 60, 70%, just roll with that for now. Whatever the case is for you and your business, but just start paying attention to the fact you might need to start diversifying moving forward. Because when things like this happen, like, yes, we have Side Hustle Network, right? That's our umbrella. That's the company. But what keeps that company afloat is not one leg. It's not Amazon. It's not eBay. It's not YouTube and affiliate marketing. It's not our paid services. It's every leg under that umbrella is what keeps it up. And we see too many people. And we were doing this before reselling. Even as a massage therapist, I always needed to have a secondary income because we had such big swings in clientele. So I started doing personal training. That's where that second leg in my business came in. And so we've always been fans of diversifying for that reason. Yeah. Because there's seasons, there's changes that happen. And as a business owner, we're not talking about just reselling, but as a business owner, you've got to be ready to pivot pretty much at any time, because you can wake up and get an email from Amazon or eBay that says, hey, we're shutting you down. Hey, we're doing these changes. Right. It sucks. I'm not taking that away from it. It definitely sucks.
Yeah. This is totally not.
I hate the fact
we had a conversation on our VIP call last night, and somebody brought up, like, are you guys worried about Amazon shutting down? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, no way.
No one saw it coming.
I am more worried about the shipping carriers shutting down or restricting, whatever they want to do. But I don't think a lot of people saw this coming. However, it does make sense, because obviously if there's a lot of essential things being caught up, and meanwhile, Amazon's checking in a bunch of books when there could be a lot of other essentials available to customers. That makes sense. Yeah. But no, did not see this coming at all. It was kind of out of left field. This is a good I'm just going to show this. It just says Facebook user, but sold 17 copies, Wii Sports, in the last 5 to 6 days.
Yes.
This is great because you guys, people are at home. They're self-quarantining or mandatory. I don't know. Is it mandatory yet? I haven't. I'm trying to stay away from the news.
San Francisco, they're on I saw a little article pop up. It was 24. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. I just going by what I read. Because the things on the internet never lie.
Obviously not.
It was San Francisco is on 3-week quarantine, I believe.
So
so think about video games.
People are at home.
Board
their
games.
Kids, more importantly, their kids are at home with them, driving them crazy. So
she had a long day with.
I'm feeling it
with the kiddo.
I'm feeling it, you guys. Thank God we have a backyard.
And it's decent weather.
And it's decent weather today. But that's not the case for a lot of people who are still experiencing bad weather and are stuck in the house with their kids. So think of those kinds of things and don't be afraid to merchant fulfill those things or throw them up on eBay or Mercari. Or I think on Facebook Marketplace, you can offer shipping now. Is this right?
Facebook Marketplace, offer up. You can do shipping on. I haven't messed around with
We've never done that because we always do local. But I mean, if you or just offer for porch pickup and don't, I guess sanitize the money when you get it. I don't know.
Spray it,
it's
wipe it down.
Weird world we're living in, you guys.
So that's kind of like the gist of where we've been. A few tips to give you guys for those of you that are stuck in that situation where you're taking a heavy hit. One is just the mental part of this is obviously this is a really bad one, but this is part of what happens in business. You guys have seen it's not a linear success graph that just keeps climbing month after month and all things are great. You're going to have tough months, and this just happens to be a really tough one for some of you. And the reality is some businesses are not going to make it. Even talking on a brick and mortar level where we have all these restaurants and, I don't know about you guys, every state's a little different right now.
Our state has shut down all restaurants.
All restaurants, bars. My gym was open this morning. I was so happy. I hope they don't shut down tomorrow. That's my one little getaway for now. And there's nobody in there.
You are going to.
I don't know.
It's happening.
We'll see.
It's happening.
So I have no weights at the house. I have to do some home yoga and stuff like that. I probably need it. So, but that's kind of where we're at with our town. And some of these businesses, they're not going to make it. And it's very, very sad, especially we live in a very small town.
That's not true. I mean, it sounds like there's some government subsidies coming in, but
a little bit.
It is. It's gonna hit everyone really hard. So,
so some of you guys as online sellers, some of you, especially when you're new, it's hard to wrap your head around calling yourself a business owner. You just think, it's a side hustle. You flip stuff on eBay or whatever. But you are a business owner, and this is part of the game. You can't sit back and complain and dwell and do all these things. You have to ask yourself, well, I've got all these restrictions now. Sucks, but what can I do to keep my business alive, keep maintenance, or keep growing? So you have to ask yourself those questions. And this is what we've been doing. So that's why one of the ways that we can continue bringing in more income is by pivoting away from the Amazon FBA, because we can't send in, we don't sell a lot of personal care stuff right now. We don't sell a lot of grocery right now. Our items have been electronics and toys and the categories we can't send in right now. That's what I have my own stockpiles of.
Yeah.
So we're pivoting because our moneymaker is going to be eBay for the reselling side. Even with the prep center, that's not going to make a dime over the next couple of weeks at least. And so we've got to make our own pivot. So you guys have to ask yourself those same questions. What can I do?
Yeah.
Right. And you won't be able to grow or even maintain. If you want to prevent that big decline that may be coming over the next few weeks, you have to ask yourself that question. What can I focus on to start making money? And a lot of you, it's going to be eBay. There's so many stubborn Amazon sellers that are like, oh, I don't like eBay. I don't want to do eBay. If you guys watch the old videos, hello, it's on many, many videos where she would talk about eBay and I'd be like, ugh, eBay. I don't even want to look at it or say its name. And now I kind of have really enjoyed it. And we've made a crap ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
So pivot. A lot of you, your answer is eBay, Mercari, Poshmark. You got to think about different platforms. I don't care if you like them or not. If they make you money, there's your pivot. You have to take the emotions out of it at this point, because the people who are just sitting back and dwelling like, oh, I would do eBay, but it's so much work, I don't like it, but whatever the excuse is,
right,
you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to decline over the next 2 weeks. So you might as well take this time to learn a new platform, start listing items, start getting used to it, start learning the ins and outs that you need to, and start making that another leg of your business.
And kind of going off of that, and this is so hard for me because I have been trying to stay away from the panic side of it, and like doomsday and like, it's the sky is falling. But in the reality is that they're saying it's going to last a lot longer than the 2 weeks initially that we kind of, I guess in my mind, I thought like, we'll self-quarantine for 2 weeks and then it will just go away and it'll be fine and we can be in society again. And it's looking less and less like that's going to be likely. And so like, if you think I can sustain for 2 weeks or even a month, I don't know that it's going to be up in a month. I feel like we might be here a little longer than that.
At this point, like it's so like Charles said, like day.
Pivoting and learning new platforms. Like, if you thought you could hang on for 2 weeks, maybe you could, but if you can't, get going now on those new platforms or new sourcing opportunities. So
literally just got an email that Oregon school closures are now mandatory through April 28th. That literally just came in.
Gosh.
That's not as bad. So Lindy Glenn,
5 years old, you
guys. Fellow YouTuber. If you guys are not following her, go check her out. I was watching her Instagram earlier and she said that I think she's in Kansas. Correct me if I'm wrong. They shut down school for the whole year already.
What?
Yeah. She did a post and said the state shut down the school for the whole year, which is bonkers. Wow. But yeah, I completely agree that I doubt this is going to be 2 weeks. That's on like if best case scenario, 2 weeks. I think we're definitely leaning towards that like 6 to 8 week mark. Who knows? Could go longer. And that's, again, this all ties back to you as a business owner. How are you going to pivot?
Yeah.
You can't just rely on Amazon FBA if that's what you've been doing, because unfortunately we know a lot of people who do just Amazon FBA. I used to do that. I was solely Amazon FBA. I at one point thought like, I'm going to grow this thing and we're going to become 7-figure FBA sellers. And I thought, you know what? Sounds great on paper, but in reality, that's way too much risk for us to put all of our eggs in that basket, especially the Amazon basket. There's a lot of risky baskets. I feel like Amazon's basket is a little bigger on the risk category.
The risk basket.
The risk basket. Someone, where's my t-shirt person from last time? We need the risk basket. I need eggs in different ones. So I mean, we just felt compelled. We were doing a Tuesday show anyways. And obviously it's the elephant in the room. We just felt compelled to get on here and just talk about this stuff, what we're doing, how it's impacted us, tips that we can help you guys out with. For those of you that have been focusing just on retail arbitrage and thrift stores, get into online arbitrage.
Right.
So much opportunity. Yes, it's a bit slimmer margins on a lot of items, especially those of you that go to thrift stores full time. You're not getting thrift store margins on online arbitrage and wholesale. But OA and wholesale is how you can continue building your business without physically needing to go out into stores. And a lot of people that are very successful, let's say grocery, you can still go sell Amazon FBA grocery and do your shipments as normal. According to this email, that's a category that's still good. But the issue is this happens to be pairing up at the same time this virus is going around and stores are limiting quantities across the board.
Yeah.
There's stores around here that are no longer saying that obviously we're past the like sanitizer phase, but it's come in phases. We're past sanitizer phase. We're now like phasing out of like toilet paper and stuff like that. But they put limits on these different products because they were so high demand. Now there's stores that are just saying you can only purchase 5 of any item, right? So you can get like 5 of this, 5 of that, and they're putting those limits on. So if you are hustling retail arbitrage still, you're going to have to pay attention to what you're actually able to get as far as quantity goes. So get into OA. There's so much free information, so many videos. Shout out to Christopher Grant. So check him out, and I'll put him in the link in the description below. Chris usually pops on here sometimes. So Chris, if you're on, just shout yourself out, give the links and all that. But Chris Grant is amazing with OA, tactical arbitrage. So go check him out for sure. But get into OA. The second tip that I mentioned earlier was just don't stop ordering. If you're already doing online arbitrage and wholesale, don't wait until April 5th to place more orders, because it's really going to be April 10th until you get those orders sent in.
Yeah.
If you have a stockpile ready to go and you like April 5th, the morning of April 5th, you're just waiting for that email or whatever way they decide they can communicate with us. Floodgates are open. You do that shipment that day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, picked up 3 cases of 96 rolls of TP today. I'm shocked you found that much.
Yeah.
I popped into a store earlier and they had like 6 rolls of toilet paper like on the back shelf.
Yeah.
It's
crazy right now.
So funny. But yeah, so those are kind of like some of our main tips. Just create a stockpile that's ready to go. And then use this time to not only talking about, learn a new platform, take this time to sharpen your skill set on that, but also take this time to kind of what we call the admin tasks. So talk about Amazon FBA, because eBay is still fully rocking. I'm sure that there's categories like shoes and clothing. They're going to be a little bit slower on sales because people are buying necessities right now. They're not really splurging on a lot of extra stuff, especially those that are having loss of income right now. It's just crazy to wrap your head around how much income is lost. So there are categories that are not going to be super popping right now, but just that's up to you and your business to decide what you're going to be selling. Use this time to do your admin tasks for Amazon FBA. So if you haven't gone through and, for example, done reimbursements, open up cases on lost and damaged inventory, you can get reimbursed for a lot of that. There's free videos on YouTube. You can just look up Amazon FBA reimbursement. Tons of free information out there. There's services that you can use. I was using one for a while. I forgot what it was called. I'll have to figure out which ones are the good ones and put them down below. But do the admin tasks. If you've been slacking on your accounting, you've got 2 weeks.
Oh, are you going to take your own advice?
No. I do not want to do our taxes this week.
Charles was like, I have to get the taxes done before I go to ASD, which is canceled. That was, you were going to leave in 2 days.
I was going to fly out in 2 days. And my goal is to get taxes done before I left.
So he promised me, I'm going to get them done. You are allowed to hound me. We give each other permission when we're like, I know this is the thing I don't want to do. So you're allowed to bug me about it. So
that was one of them.
I did bug you a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm here on the interwebs bugging you again.
And I was on track to get them done, and then ASD got canceled. I'm like, I've got a couple more days to. So that's on my list is the taxes. So stupid stuff like that, the admin tasks that nobody really enjoys.
Yep.
Now's a great time to sit down and get those in order.
Yep.
And then last I already mentioned is just diversify your platforms. Get multiple streams of incomes, guys. This is like, if we're looking at a textbook definition of why we have preached and promoted this for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
This is it. This exact reason. Some of you are in a position and it sucks so much to hear these stories. Some of you have messaged and said, I lost my income. My job shut us down. They're not compensating us. Obviously, government is working on some type of payouts for people, which would be fantastic. But we know how quickly they work with a lot of that stuff. It sucks to hear these stories, and it's just time and time again. I'm reminding people moving forward. I hope this is a very big wake-up call that a lot of people needed to start diversifying their incomes. I don't care which way you diversify, you guys. There are literally thousands of ways to make money.
Yeah.
Those of you who are stuck in just reselling mode, you can flip open your phone, turn the camera on, and do a video about something, anything, any skill you have, any knowledge you have about anything. Start a YouTube channel. Start doing affiliate marketing. You can start getting into real estate. Like, all these different opportunities are going to come up out of this. There's so many ways to make money, and I can't tell you which way is going to be best for you. Some of you are not great on video. Don't do YouTube. You're more of a podcast person, or you can write blogs. Like, you have to go with where your strengths are. But at the end of the day, especially one of our pivots I think we should make on this channel is talk about more than just reselling. This channel is very reselling heavy because that's what we do. That's what we enjoy. It's what our passion is. But we also have paid services that we offer. We also have affiliate marketing. We have YouTube income. We have this audience base that we've built. We have different things that we do through that. And those are skill sets we've developed now, so we can then teach how you guys can do it too. Some of you are amazing fishermen. You can do videos and content, build an Instagram account around fishing tips and tactics and tutorials, and you can literally make 6 figures on that brand. That's one of 1,000 different scenarios. I've talked to people where I mentioned, hey, you should start a YouTube channel. They're like, well, I'm not really like a great reseller, so I don't know if I would be able to build a large YouTube channel. And I remind them, you don't have to make a YouTube channel about reselling. It's
look at us.
We're not experts. We're not great at reselling. Yeah. We do enough to pay the bills and have a shit ton of fun doing it. But you guys have to, I'm going to preach on this so much moving forward. I know I'm going to lose subscribers from it, but I don't care. I want you guys to have whatever safety nets you can build for yourselves, because that's what multiple streams of income is. It's a safety net. When one, like Amazon FBA decides, hey, we're going to shut down your shipments for 2 weeks. It sucks. It hurts. We're going to lose a little bit of income from it, but we've got other legs to our business to rely on. And if another one gets shut down, like the prep center just got shut down because of the Amazon, like it tied into each other, that sucks. We're not going to make a dime over the next 2 weeks, but we've got other legs. We've got cushions. We've got the safety nets that we can focus on. So for those of you, we're not talking to everybody here. We're just talking to the few people that needed to hear this. But if you're stuck in that position where you had your eggs in one basket, it's going to hurt. Some of you may not make it through this, and you'll decide, you know what, I'm just going back to my regular job. This is not for me. Whatever the case is, really take a hard look at what you are doing for your incomes and try to diversify those. Some of it even comes down to maybe not a different platform, but just different category, right? So if you're a retail arbitrage seller on Amazon, you only hustle toys and electronics, get into personal care items, get into beauty, get into grocery, clothing, shoes. There's so many categories. So that's one way you can diversify. It's not just about add eBay, add Poshmark. You don't have to do any of that, but split that risk up a little bit, because this of all events was a massive wake-up call for a lot of people.
Right.
So that's kind of our tips and tricks and strategies and ways it's impacted us, ways it's impacting you guys. It's pretty much open comment thread. I want to hear what you guys are doing to make those pivots happen, because our scenario is far different than what a lot of you guys will be going through. So we're curious to hear what you guys are going through, how it's impacted you. More importantly, we can talk. Everyone loves to just sit here and talk around and talk about coronavirus and here's all the negatives, blah, blah, like, okay, we get it. It sucks. There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. And I don't care if you agree or disagree or which politicians are saying, I don't care about any of that. I care, what are you doing to better your scenario, your situation? Because you can't control a lot of it, which means it makes no sense to waste your time and mental energy on dwelling on it, talking about it, thinking about it, because you're just going to keep bringing yourself down. You're going to, at best, maintain where you are at rather than continuing to push through this and grow through this. So I'm curious, more importantly than how it's impacted you, I'm more curious about what you're doing to make the pivot happen, and what you're doing to actually continue growing through this, because we can sit here all day and I've, even in like the locker room at the gym and grocery store lines, it's just, okay, we get it. This all sucks. Can we talk about what you can do to move forward? Well, did you read something or what were you laughing at?
Adam, I'm putting that on the internet. I'm sorry, but if you write it here, I have fair game. I'm thinking about opening up a mobile exotic dancing band. No touching.
Yes.
6 feet.
That's hilarious.
Of space.
In order to get into the van, you have to have like sanitizing stations. Hazmat suit exotic dancing, is that a thing?
Oh dear.
Where's my t-shirt person? I need a I 100% agree with this. It's good to stop watching TV for a week.
Yeah.
That's the other problem is.
And I have been like, I've had the radio on. I'm like checking my phone for the last what, 2-3 days,
because there's always like
because I
another
feel like
update.
I'm gonna miss something. And then I realize kind of exactly what Charles said, like I don't have any control over this. So paying attention to it and giving it like all of my headspace isn't going to change the situation. It definitely brings me down. So now I'm just letting him tell me what's going on. You can let me know what's going on and all.
I'm watching, especially like our Oregon governor. I'm always watching the live press conferences because we need to be in tune with what mandatory restrictions they're putting on. There's talks about curfews being implemented, so we've got to pay attention to this stuff, especially things like we just found out that it was April 1st. Was when school can start back up for our kid. And now we just found out literally live on the show, got that. I saw the email pop up on my computer, which is why I grabbed my phone to check it. Now it's April 28th. Who knows where this is going over the next few weeks? They can push it out like Kansas did for the rest of the year. We don't know. So I listen to enough to stay informed, but man, there's so much BS that floats around the media. Yeah. It's painful. It's painful.
So do what you have to do. Stay home if that's where you're feeling you need to contribute. We're doing what we can and staying home, except for someone's going to the gym.
There's no one in there, which I got like.
That's true.
It was me. So I was in there for an hour and a half today. It was me, and I saw 2 people come and go. They hopped on the treadmills for like 20 minutes and then left. I'm like, this is probably one of the best places I can be. There's no one here. Everything is well sanitized. It's just a little hometown gym here. It's not a big franchise. I did hear 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness shut down. I'm expecting them to shut down.
Yeah, they're going to shut down.
It makes me sad though. I need to go buy some like dumbbells or something, which sucks. I just sold a pretty decent, like multiple sets of dumbbells a few weeks ago. And I'm like, crap, I should have kept those. Right. I'll do some yoga.
Yeah. So we're just focusing on the things that we know we can make money on and that we can control. I recently came into a bunch of very like I hesitate to call them vintage. They're really like 1990s women's dresses. I got to figure out how to sell these things. So there's my challenge for the week.
There you go.
If anybody has any good advice on how to sell these suckers, they're full on 90s, like straight out of Friends. Yeah. So I'm going to work on that stuff. I'm going to go through my money piles. We don't call them death piles here. We call them money piles.
Money piles. Call them cha-ching piles.
I have got some stuff that I need to go through, and I'm going to retake some photos of sale inventory. So retaking and relisting that stuff. What else?
Oh my gosh. Chris Palmer is on here.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Chris. We met Chris in Minneapolis. Was that 3 years ago that conference was?
A long time ago.
That's crazy. What's up, man?
So I'm going to just scroll down.
Saul said that Mercari is still doing no fees for collectibles for the next day. So
yeah,
there you guys go. Mercari is one extra platform. I may need to take my own advice on what I just said, where I need to take the next few weeks, since I'm doing way less Amazon, since I'm doing a lot of eBay photos and that stuff anyways, I just should cross list over to Mercari. So that's one thing that I kind of want to actually put on my list.
I've been actually,
should we start one account for both, or do you want to, how do you want to do that?
I have my account.
You guys get to listen to a live business meeting now.
Look at this.
Because you have one and I have one.
Yes.
I feel like it doesn't make sense for us to split two.
No. Anyway,
do you have any stars or like sold anything on yours?
I've sold one item. This is how
better than me. I've bought off mine.
Yeah. Let's see.
We have done thousands on Mercari in the last month. It was Saul. It says Facebook user on here, so I'm looking at my phone to see who's actually posting. Yeah, Saul's crushing Mercari. Marche, we met her.
Yeah.
Her daughter came down to the LA meetup.
Yeah. It just says Facebook user on our end, so then we have to like look it up.
I'm watching us on here. It's
Sounds like weird.
What it's YouTube live inception.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
All right. Any last comments, questions, concerns?
Home.
Yeah, we're trying to think.
Done here at the office.
Stuff I need to.
And yeah, hope everyone's staying safe in addition to all of this. And I mean, there's this whole like worry about like what are we going to do with the business, and now this new restriction on selling, but then there's this whole other mental side of it that is, I find, maybe that's why I look so tired.
You're mentally tired.
I'm mentally tired.
It's because you're watching the news for a week straight.
You're always just kind of like, it's in the back of your mind. And I had to go to the grocery store today, and so I'm like, I basically like had my head up. I'm like 6 feet from everyone. I'm wiping things. I'm opening things with my Lysol.
I really want to do a video.
It's just like, it like is mentally tiring as well. And like, I have no doubt that if you or I got this virus, or even Titus, that we would be fine.
Mm.
We have a baby. She's not quite one yet. So that's makes me pretty nervous. So
we literally go like we've quarantined the house by now. Like we've cleaned it, sanitized it. I went through and sanitized every single piece of anything we touch here in the office has been well cleaned every day.
Yeah.
So we literally go from home here to the office, and I've been going to the gym once a day, which I'm like I wipe everything down pre and post at the gym. So those are kind of like, we've been kind of quarantining a little bit, not quite like we're going to stay in our house for 14 days thing.
But basically, like I haven't even been to Goodwill. I'm kind of jonesing a little bit. Yeah.
I was going to try to start being an Amazon eBay seller. Should I start buying and gathering things for when everything calms down? I would 100%. Here's the advice I would give to anyone who is brand new. Focus on eBay right away. Like this gets past the point of like, yes, there's the virus going around. There's shutdowns all over the place. This is beyond that. Even just in regular, normal world, I guess we'll call it, with no chaos. In a normal time, I would still give this exact same advice. If you are new, don't buy stuff and not list it. There's so many people that are new and scared, and they don't list anything. They just create like you create your own death pile before you even listed one thing. Don't like list the items, make the mistakes, and do it again. Can you do merchant fulfill if you're brand new? I don't know the rule to that. There you go. Yes. Merchant fulfill it. But yeah, there's so many messages over the last couple of years, and it's like at some point you've got to either decide that you're going to do this or you are not. Yeah. A lot of you try to hang out in this like weird middle ground where you're like, I'm buying stuff, but I'm not really listing. You're literally losing money. You're just buying stuff you don't plan on actually selling. Like, stop playing that middle ground. You do it or you don't. It's black or it's white. That's your decision to make. So if you are new, going back to that specific question, if you're new, obviously Amazon's not a great spot to start here in the next 2 weeks. I would focus 100% on eBay. I would set a goal to get 5 items a day listed. If you're brand new, you can only list 10 items out of the gate. So find 10 things that are selling super, super, super fast. I'm even going to go as far as to say, I don't care if you break even on those sales after fees and shipping, because you want to get a few sales under your belt. So, and I did a video on this, so you can call eBay and get those limits raised. So you want to sell after a certain amount of history that you've sold things. Yeah, you want to sell 10, and it doesn't have to be 10, just sell a few things very fast. So you can call eBay and say, hey, we successfully sold these, we shipped them. Here's the positive feedback. I'd like to request a limit increase. Once you get that limit increase, I've seen some people comment on the video where they went to 50, some of them went to 100. Then it's go time. Then you do 5-10 listings a day and just grind that out. In a few weeks, once we understand where Amazon FBA is going to be, if they do open it up, in fact, on April 5th, then start to look more into that. I have a lot of inventory in a prep center that was supposed to ship to Amazon in a few days. Given the suspension of shipments, should I worry? Ian, no, you should not worry. We're in that case of being prep center owners. So we have many, many clients that have product here. Half of our warehouse is full of boxes right now.
I'm honestly nervous for if they cap it, or if they suspend it for longer than 2 weeks.
We're going to need
I don't know where we're going to put all this stuff.
Yeah. So we have a lot of inventory. So we're on the flip side of that, where we have a lot of that product here. Ask your prep center. I don't know which one you're using. All of them usually offer some type of merchant fulfilled service. So ask if they can list your items merchant filled. You have to work with them on the logistics of that, but that's an option that we're offering our clients. And then the other part is don't stop ordering. Like I mentioned earlier, keep sending in stuff, because if you wait until the 5th, you're missing out on 2 weeks of ordering and having a big stockpile ready to flood the Amazon warehouse. So that's what we're telling our clients is keep sending stuff. I'm going to have to go out and buy like 5 or 6 more shelves.
Yeah.
Some of our clients are going to have so much, they're going to take up a few shelves themselves. So we're just telling them, you know what, we're happy to stockpile it if you want us to. We're happy to merchant fill it for you if you want to list it. That's something logistically you need to work with your prep center on.
Really quickly, yes, we will be helping our clients merchant fulfill. So if you are an existing client, do not fret.
Yeah. And if
we are here,
if you guys are an existing client, we use Slack for communication. We did a whole update post inside of Slack. So check there if you're one of our current clients.
Yep.
Did I see we had a scroll back up?
Sorry.
I saw Rise and Grind Picker was on here at some point.
Well, you're really behind on that.
I know. I have not been looking at the comments. Shout out to Shane. Saw him pop through here.
Let's see.
How do I raise my performance score? It's been sitting at the same score for 2 weeks. 2 main things. We actually had this happen. Our score dropped down to 342. Bad. So if you're below, is it now 400? I think they raised it. 400. I think they raised it to 400, but at the time it was 350. I was just below at 342. 2 major things that we did. 1, go through and delete and close all the old listings of stuff that you don't plan on selling anymore that you've sold out of. And 2, you can go into your manage FBA inventory page and filter by what has been there the longest. And if it's stuff that you're not selling through and you have quantity of it, pull that stuff or get it listed on eBay and start selling it that way. But doing those 2 switches, and it will take some time. It updates every Monday is when that performance index score will update every single Monday. It took about a month and a half, and then my score popped right back up where it should be. Those are just the 2 fixes that we did there.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for jumping in on this call. You can tell the sun's going down because we're getting blinded over here. If you liked our content, or you didn't like it, hit the thumbs up.
Here's the funny part. They can hit the thumbs down, and
you can hit the thumbs down.
It's still engagement.
Yeah.
The funny part about trolls, they think like if they thumbs down the video, it's negatively impacting us.
It's engagement.
YouTube sees it as engagement either way. There's no positive or negative.
We're not all together very likable people, so maybe you
do.
Maybe you don't like us. I don't know.
Totally fine.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for jumping on the call. As always, we appreciate all of you for hanging out.
What was it that Titus said after he was watching Ryan's work?
Like and subscribe.
Comment, like, and subscribe. He was 4 at the time, and he said that. I was like, where did you learn that?
Are you hearing all of this?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
But yeah, be safe. And we'll be back shortly to talk more. Bye,
Peace out, crew. See you later.